So here I am for number 16 for Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s career. A season very similar to 2009. In fact, it came around the same time as 2009, towards his kind of slump that he was in. A very unfortunate season. Here is number 16 for Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s NASCAR Cup career. As you probably guessed, 2010, right around the time 2009 was. See, he got more top 5s and top 10s, one more top 5 with 3, top 10s with 8. Of course, it was better than 2017, same amount of top 10s, more top 5s. He got a pole. He had 185 laps led, a little bit more than 2009. His rank was 21st, better than 2009, same as 2017. His average start was bad, 19, but his average finish up from 2017, 18.6, and way up from 2009. As we now look at this, all the finishing results. Daytona, his highlight, the Daytona 500 finishing second, but then on, it was really just few and far between where he had some good races going, some top 5s here and there, some top 10s. Otherwise, it was just not good. Some really bad luck once again, but even more just bad cars. Once again, that pairing with Lance Magruder just did not work out for Hendrick Motorsports and the 88 team. It starts off with the Daytona 500. We'll kick this off with 2 laps to go. The final restart. Dale Jr. restarts in the 10th position, and he makes his restrictor plate magic work out. He's an Earnhardt after all. He has to do good at restrictor plate tracks, and he shows it right here after restarting 10th. So the lanes kind of get all messed up as they will go down the backstretch. We'll actually show you this whole restart, show you the moves he made and how he got up there, and we'll show you kind of how other scenarios kind of helped him. As you can see how bumpy the track is. This is the season before they repaved Daytona. Has the characteristic very, very fun, it looks like. Well, fun for us to watch, not really fun for the drivers. See right here, he's going 3 wide up top, pushing Clint Boyer, trying to get himself into the top 5. As 3 cars pull away, he's going to try and push Boyer by Edwards and Harvick that are on the bottom lane. If he can do that, he'll be in 5th. He'll be in position. As they come to the white flag, 1 lap to go, he's made it up to 5th. He has to gain 4 more spots to get up to the front and win. See, they're balanced side by side, Biffle and McMurray. Boyer moves inside Truex. Jr. follows Boyer down low. He's going to give a big push to him right here. Has to left. Look at the bumps as they go through 1 and 2. Very, very bumpy. Of course, they repaved it the next season. And look at the car off of turn number 2. Completely sideways. He saves the car. Almost hits Truex. Gets a push from David Ruman. Where does he go? He's not going to go with anyone. He's going to make his own lane to the middle lane. Through the middle. Hits Biffle. Sideways squarely. Saves it. Now he's charging on McMurray. Entering turn 3. In the draft. Closing on. They crash behind him. It doesn't matter. No caution flag comes out to about 2-car spin. Closing on McMurray, just does not have the help behind him to get by. And they come off of 4. McMurray beats Jr. to the line. Jr. will end up 2nd in the 500, and this will kick off a huge string of 2nd place finishes in this race. They head on to Fontana, where they had a car. Their teammates are up there inside the top 5, all 3 of them, 3rd, 4th, 5th. Junior's back there in the 20s, the high teens, and Axel Prom on the 88 puts him about 10 laps down. He finishes back in the 30s, I believe, so not kicking off 2010 the way he wants after finishing 2nd. Now going to finish way back. Move on to Atlanta, where he gets the pole. We'll show you his pole lap, as it was one fast lap. Cars sounded very, very nice around this time. Very kind of higher pitched. Sounded very nice. You can see how fast they're going in this car tomorrow. It was his first pole since 2008, and he gets it at the Larimore Speedway. He starts on pole. He ends up not even leading a lap, though, as Kyle Busch actually took the lead from him on the first lap from the outside lane, and Junior just could not get up and lead a lap ever. He ends up finishing in the teens, somewhere around there. And listening to this interesting tidbit that Mike Joy had to say after winning the pole.
Since Dale Earnhardt Jr. has started on the pole, Krista, he ran the fastest lap ever in qualifying for a NASCAR Car of Tomorrow.
Texas was probably the best race Dale Jr. had. He straight up got the lead from Jamie McMurray. They had taken 2 tires on a previous pit stop, which got him to the race lead, and then on a restart after, where he had stayed out along with about 9 other drivers. McMurray passed him, and then gets back to the race lead a few laps later, and Junior ends up leading quite a bit of laps here in this Texas race. He ends up falling short, just could not hold on at the end. You see right here, they're going to commercial break, and who would have thought they would have had to use these graphics as they're going to commercial break? Like, these graphics were probably on backhold. Like, what the heck? We're using these graphics going into commercial. He's leading going into commercial? What year are we in? What the heck? Junior's leading into commercial? Oh my gosh, he's not going to have it when he comes back. What? He's leading when he comes back from commercial? What year am I in, 2010? What the heck is happening here? Junior leading at a 1.5 mile track into and out of commercial? Well, he doesn't end up winning. We move on to Dover, where big issues. They go under the hood of the 88. Obviously, ill-handling race car. He started around 27th. He was back there pretty much all race. I think he got a high of like 25th in the race. And then going under the hood, see if there was anything maybe wrong, mechanically wrong. He ends up finishing back in the 30s, about 10 laps down, I believe. Move on to Daytona, where the huge one happens, and somehow Junior right there on the bottom sneaks through, gets some right side damage, but sneaks through on the bottom lane. Dale Jr., wreck avoidance. Dale somehow comes through, see right there down the bottom, about the last car to get by. The rest all torn up in a big flame. You can see right there, he's going to emerge from the smoke here. He's going to fall right behind Jeff Gordon. So right there, going down the apron, Junior stays on the track and somehow makes it through. I still can't believe how he made it through. Wreck avoidance Dale, and we'll see a lot more of this later in this series. He's missed a lot of wrecks throughout his career, somehow, some way. We move on to Indianapolis, the Brickyard, where he's running around in 15th. Montoya gets into the wall pretty hard. Don't know how he did that. And then Junior running 15th, just instant bystander, nowhere to go, nails Montoya and gets some pretty heavy damage. He actually ends up finishing the race somehow, only about 2 laps down, I believe it was, but still in the back. Right there, Montoya way out of the groove into the wall. Montoya's running 10th, Junior's running 15th, so a decent result. What was going to be a decent result for Dale Jr. ends up heavy damage here from his onboard. He really just had nowhere to go. As Ambrose in front of him, Ambrose trying to avoid the 42 as well, gets into him and kind of forced the 88 into the 42, nowhere to go. Then we move on to Michigan. Finished 7th there earlier in the season, had high hopes for this race. He ends up finishing 19th, a non-factor all day. Car was horrible. It kind of hurts his chase chances for the season. Junior obviously not happy after the race, just wanted to get home.
Well, I would just say your chase chances now, man. I don't know. I really don't give a about it. I'm just going home. I busted my ass all day long, so I'm going to hit the house.
He did nothing in the next few races before the chase, but right here at New Hampshire, one of the chase races. It's a few mileage race. He was 6th. Jeff Burton runs out field and moves around him for 5th. So Junior's in the top 5. They're coming to the white flag. He's in the top 5 position. He has enough fuel because he pitted with Hamlin a few laps later than these guys. Stewart now running out of fuel, come to the white flag. Could he possibly get a top 3 finish as Boyer and McMurray questionable on fuel? Hamlin in 2nd is not questionable. He's going to make it. So they come around to the checkered flag. Boyer, Hamlin, McMurray make it. Junior gets 4th.
Great race for Dale Earnhardt Jr. after a lot of frustration.
And then at Martinsville, Junior battling with teammate Jeff Gordon. He moves to the inside 1 and 2, and he'll take the race lead from Jeff Gordon, and he ends up leading for a good bit here at Martinsville, 90 laps. He ends up finishing in the top 10 around 8th, 7th, somewhere around there. He had a pretty good car, just could not pull it at the end. Martinsville, obviously one of his best tracks in the Cup Series. He'll end up getting a win there later in the series, and he's had many close calls there. You can see the fans reacting to that. So Dale Jr. leading at Martinsville for 90 laps. Then we move on to the next race, Talladega. You think this has to be a big circle on the calendar for the 88 team. They can win this one. He's already led a few laps before this. I believe it's about 21, 22. He gets pushed by Montoya by Clint Boyer for the race lead. Pit stops are going to be cycling through any second now. They're going to start right there. The big crash almost happens behind him. So Junior, Boyer, Harvick get away as they're going to start coming down pit road this time by. Junior out front at Talladega. We normally see him up here. And he gets out here, and we're going to have an interesting fun fact from this race just a little bit later. As you can see right there, Junior leads that lap, and then the next lap, going into 3 and 4, Boyer and Harvick trying to get by him. Junior does some impressive blocking right here, moves up high, the 2 car tangling behind him. They're going, hey, let's go down to the bottom. Junior's like, I'm going to cover that spot, and he somehow blocks Boyer and Harvick, and he'll actually end up leading this lap as well, which puts his laps led total at 24. That will sadly be the last lap he leads in this race, though. The AMP Energy Juice 500 had a very great car, and then later, after pit stops, Junior gives Boyer too much of a push in 3 and 4 and ends up wrecking them both. As Boyer gets the most damage, but Junior also involved. He actually heads to the garage in this. He'll end up about 30 laps down and in the 30s. And just see right there, just pushes Boyer. Too much of a push in the corner. It spins the 31 up into the 88, and nowhere for Dale Jr. to go to try and avoid that one. So ends up a good car gone bad. Listen to what Marty Reed said.
He led a race high 24 laps right now.
It actually ends up being the race high 24 laps led. So even though he didn't really complete the rest of the race with a shot to lead laps. He ends up leading the most laps in that race, 24. The next closest, Kyle Busch, with 20. Just showed how wild that race was. And that was pretty much all he had for that season. The rest of the season, pretty dull. So that's it for 16. We'll see you for number 15.
Earnhardt is going to drive a number 3 car to victory lane at Daytona again. Dale Earnhardt Jr. wins.
Well, but damn. Good job, guys. I'll tell you again, thanks 88 crew for the pit stop. Tony Jr., I appreciate your work, man. I love winning races with you, buddy.
Incredible. I don't know if it's you guys, but that's chills right there.
You did a good job. You guys built a hell of a race car.